अब नेक्स्ट भी हमारे स्कॉलर हमें ऑनलाइन ही ज्वाइन करेंगे। एजाज़ अहमद लोन, आपका ताल्लुक़ श्रीनगर से है और आपका आज का रिसर्च का टॉपिक है इकबाल्स इंटीमेसी विद कश्मीर बिफोर एंड आफ्टर द पार्टीशन। इस वक्त आप मलेशिया में पोस्ट डॉक्टरल फेलोशिप कर रहे हैं। अब हमें ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं डॉक्टर एजाज़ अहमद लोन।
हैं बजा शेवाए तस्लीम में मशहूर हैं हम, किस्सा दर्द सुनाते हैं कि मजबूर हैं हम। साज़ खामोश हैं, फरियाद से मामूर हैं हम, नाला आता है अगर लब पे तो माजूर हैं हम। है खुदा शिकवाए अरबाब वफा भी सुन ले, हो करे हम से थोड़ा सा गिला भी सुन ले। रहमतें हैं तेरी अगियार के काशानों पर, और बरक गिरती है बेचारे मुसलमानों पर। First of all, I would like to congratulate the whole team of Iqbal Academy Pakistan and particularly Professor Rauf Rafiqui for organizing this illustrious conference as far as the Iqbal studies are concerned. Myself, Dr. Ajaz, particularly I am a student of sociology, but I have my specialization in Iqbal studies. I am a PhD from University of Kashmir, Srinagar, and my postdoctorate from International Islamic University, Malaysia. And currently, I have been shortlisted for Abdullah Kamil Center, University of Yale, to study Allama Iqbal with special reference to Islamic culture and civilization. Basically, I have been given a topic to, ponder on Iqbaliyat in Kashmir. And first of all, we all know that Iqbal was, we have a proud that Iqbal was the son of the soil and his genealogy was from Kashmir. He was from the South Kashmir, the district of Kulgam, and his ancestors belonged to the Sapru family there. And they migrated to Pakistan, but as an Iqbalian scholar, I should say that we can see Iqbal and Iqbal studies in every home of Kashmir, at every corner of Kashmir. Recently, we have celebrated the 147th birth anniversary of Iqbal, and all the institutes, higher institutes, universities, they have celebrated this day with zeal and zest. So this is the testimony of this fact that Iqbal studies is everywhere in Kashmir. And I have a privilege, particularly I belong to the district of Baramulla, and it was 1921 when Iqbal visited Kashmir via our district Baramulla. And he traveled various districts of Kashmir, particularly to district of Kupwara, and when see the Wadi-e-Lolab there, Pani tere chashmu ka behta hua seema, e Wadi-e-Lolab, e Wadi-e-Lolab. So he was mesmerized with the beauty of Kashmir. But when he visited Srinagar on that particular visit, and he was, he visited the Dal Lake and the Hazratbal site, and the historian has wrote that Iqbal ने कहा है कि मैंने कुदरत को मैंने वाज़िह तरीके से वहां पर देखा, जो मैंने खूबसूरती वहां पर देखी. But at the same time, he was very much disappointed and ironical regarding the situation, regarding the atrocities, regarding the Dogra rule, which were implemented of that imperialistic powers at that time in Kashmir. And he recommended and always given his recommendations both to the mainstream and other political leaders of Kashmir. Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah, he has got advices from Allama Iqbal against the Dogra rule. He was very much disappointed the atrocities, the ferocity of Dogra rule of at that time. But he proposed Kashmiris to fight against this Dogra rule, against these atrocities. That is why he has said when he left Kashmir, इस कौम को शमशेर की हाजत नहीं रहती, हो जिसके जवानों की खुदी सूरत फवला. And we have adapted Iqbal's philosophy, Iqbal's thought to revolutionize our system. And that is continuing till date. He has also said regarding these oppressed societies like Kashmir and Palestine, गुलामी में नाकाम आती है शमशीरें न तदबीरें जो हो ज़ो की यकीन पैदा तो कट जाती है जंजीरें. As far as Iqbal studies in Kashmir is concerned, my dear friend, yesterday Mr. Khalid Latif has elaborated it beautifully. I just want to mention, one of our institutes where I have a pass out, Iqbal Institute of Culture and Philosophy, University of Kashmir, Srinagar. That institute was established as a chair as far as the research on Iqbal is concerned in 1977, but it has been given a stature of research, full-fledged research institute as far as the Iqbal studies or the research about Iqbal is concerned. And various dimensions have been elaborated regarding Iqbal studies since 1977, and the work is continuing. But the stature of institute has been, it is a question mark on the research and the stature of the institute since 2019, when the abrogation of Article 370 happened and this communist government has overtaken in India. That stuck the research works as far as the Iqbal studies are concerned. And now, much more propagation is on Iqbal and Indian heritage. Even one cannot imagine that the research topics, that has been given in the various, not only in Iqbal Institute, but in the various institutes of India, that is Iqbal and Deen Dayal Upadhyay, Iqbal and Savarkar. This is totally a humiliation to this great personality. Though I do not want to go deep into that, I would like to ponder on the Iqbaliyat in Kashmir. As Khalid Latif has yesterday said that the people of Kashmir do have a special place for Iqbal in their hearts, and a great many Kashmiri people like Mahjoor, the great poets like Mahjoor, Azad, Nazmi, and Fazil Kashmiri were inspired by the Iqbal's poetry. Similarly, Naz Kashmiri has, he has translated Asrari Khudi into a Kashmiri language. And similarly, in recent times, Shahidul Haq, Shahidi has, he has also translated various books of Iqbal into Kashmiri. But particularly, the four directors of our institute, Iqbal Institute of Culture and Philosophy, like Professor Bashir Ahmed Naimi, Professor Ali Ahmed Sarur, Professor Indrabi, Professor Taskina Fazil, they have done a commendable work as far as the Iqbal studies are concerned. And they have written various books on the various dimensions of Iqbal. And our revolutionary leader, Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani, he has written Ruhi Deen Ka Shinasa, the food edilude of as far as the Iqbal studies are concerned. He has also written a foreword or Dibacha of my book Iqbal and Contemporary Muslims. Similarly, one more Iqbal scholar, prominent Iqbal scholar in Kashmir is Professor Jial Murray for his book The Bloody Horizon. There are lots of works which can be, which I can pinpoint as far as Iqbal studies in Kashmir is concerned, because Iqbal is in our hearts, and we run our system, our ideologies as far as it hardly matters a person is from social sciences, it's from literature, it's from science, it's from biotechnology. Iqbal is everywhere in Kashmir. Now, I do not want to take much of your time. I can understand there is a paucity of time. I would like to ponder on two slides, as my specialization is about Iqbal's reformation or reconstruction of the Muslim societies, and for which I have been shortlisted in the University of Yale to study the Iqbal with akin to Islamic culture and civilization. क्या खूब इकबाल ने कहा है, दर्द लैला भी वही, कैस का पहलू भी वही, नजद के दश्त व जबल में रमे आहू भी वही, इश्क का दिल भी वही, हुस्न का जादू भी वही, उम्मत अहमद मुरसिल भी वही, तू भी वही, तेरी ये आजुर्दगी खैर सबब क्या माने, अपने शहदाओं पे ये चश्म सबब क्या माने. Now, as far as my knowledge or observation regarding the Iqbal studies are concerned, I should, as a very humble scholar of Iqbal or a student of Iqbal, it's a very great platform in which I have to ponder on this, sort of a issue that Iqbal has seen three dreams. 3 ख्वाब जो है इकबाल ने देखे थे कि हम मुसलमान नौजवानों को कैसे एम्पावर करें, हाउ, दूसरा जो था उन्होंने देखा था हाउ वी कैन यूनाइट द मुस्लिम नेशंस, और तीसरा जो उन्होंने देखा था रिफॉर्मेशन एंड रिकंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ द मुस्लिम सोसाइटीज। अब ये ख्वाब हम कहां तक पूरा कर पाए हैं या इनकी ताबीर निकली है, this is a great question mark to the students and the scholars of Iqbal Studies, and this is the platform where we have to answer this question. Conferences तो चलती रहती है, but how we are able to answer these 3 questions, that is the $1 million, sort of a question mark on Iqbal scholars. Empowerment of the Muslim youth, unification of the Muslim nations, and the reformation of the Muslim societies. Are we able to answer these 3 questions as an Iqbalian scholars? I would like to ask everyone sitting there as an Iqbal Shinas. Now, I would like to personally congratulate Professor Rafiqui Saab for organizing this conference, as the title of the conference is Iqbal in Abroad, or Iqbal Studies Abroad. As Iqbal has rightly said, जवानों को मेरी अहसर दे, फिर इन शाही बच्चों को बाल व पर दे, खुदाया आरज़ू मेरी यही है, मेरा नूर बसीरत आम कर दे। क्या हम कामयाब हुए हैं उनका नूर बसीरत आम करने में? That's the great question mark in front of us. इकबाल पर आज अमेरिका में काम हो रहा है जनाब। बेन गूरियन यूनिवर्सिटी यहूदी जो है, वहां पर जो बेन गूरियन यूनिवर्सिटी का एक हमारा इंस्टीट्यूट है, I cannot remember the name of the institute, वो इकबाल को पढ़ने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। क्या हमने वो काम किया है, क्या हमने उनके थॉट को डिसेमिनेट करने की कोशिश की है in these big institutes? That is one another question, because we are talking about the Iqbal Studies Abroad. हम, the Muslim nations or the Iqbalian scholars can do this conference or organize this conference together, but are we able to disseminate his thought around the world? That's the $1 million question, because we know his thought is appealing. Iqbal is cited everywhere, but we have a question mark that, we have a very reputed our General Iqbal Review, incepted in 1961, but we have not able to include that in a Scopus journal or the big research engines like Google Scholar, like Academia, like Oracle. These are the questions we have to ponder on, because Iqbal is the most cited philosopher in the contemporary times. As I have completed my postdoctorate from International Islamic University, Malaysia, I have seen it. But are we able to, disseminate his thought and philosophy? That is more important in the contemporary times, because his message is appealing. He has a thought-provoking, appeal in his poetry as well as his prose work. One more question mark as far as the Iqbalian scholars are concerned. How much we have been successful in the dissemination of his thought in the European countries, in the European universities, or in the American universities? So we have to introspect, simple as that. Otherwise, it is just some sort of doing the formalities. We have to do a pragmatic work, a practical work as far as the Iqbal studies are concerned. Translations are important. How we are translating Asrar-e-Khudi, Armagan-e-Hijaz, Rumuz-e-Khudi, and the various other books into English, and disseminate them into the, these who has seen us as terrorist ummah, or the concept of Islamophobia is, that has been just pondering on as Muslims. Because Iqbal was a liberal scholar, and we have to show that world that we are following that scholar who has a liberal ideas, who has a liberal philosophy. That's one more question we have to answer. So again, at the end, I would like to congratulate Iqbal, like a whole team of Iqbal Academy Pakistan, for giving me a chance to share my thoughts or to ponder on this Iqbal studies in Kashmir. And I have included 2 slides as, Iqbal's dream for Kashmir and Muslim Ummah, where I have pinpointed 3 dreams of Iqbal. क्या हम वो कामयाब हो गए हैं उनकी ताबीर निकालने में? और दूसरी जो स्लाइड है, डिसेमिनेशन ऑफ इकबालियन थॉट, क्या हम कामयाब हो गए हैं इकबाल के थॉट मेरा नूर बसीरत आम कर दे? क्या हम वो कामयाब हो गए हैं that we can disseminate that in America and other European universities, big universities. और जो इकबाल पर रिसर्च हो रही है, क्या हम उनको the big engines, because it's a digital world, various large research engines where it can be cited around the world, क्या हम उसको कामयाब करने में हम कामयाब हुए हैं? These are my questions to the very august gathering there, to the very articulated and illustrious scholars who have participated in this conference from Afghanistan, Iran, and various other Muslim nations. So at the end, ये खामोशी कहां तक लज्जत फरियाद पैदा कर, तमी पर तू हो और तेरी सदा हो आसमानों में. Being a Muslims, this couplet of Iqbal, we can do a one PhD on this couplet, because this is the need of the hour as far as the contemporary global order for the Muslims are concerned. The world has been split into two global groups, global orders. So we have to ponder on those dimensions of Iqbalian thought that can appeal the rest of the world. With that, I would like to take a leave. Wa akhiru damana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Ameen. थैंक यू सर.
बहुत शुक्रिया डॉक्टर साहब, बहुत इन्फॉर्मेटिव आपका लेक्चर है और इंशाल्लाह इकबाल का नूरे बसीरत आम हो रहा है और होता रहेगा. आपका हमें ज्वाइन करने का बहुत शुक्रिया. सलामत रहिए.